Hi guys, and welcome back. We're gonna go here to Sebastian. The History of Chantry, Chapter 2. When the prophet Andraste and her husband Menopher arrived at the head of the barbarian horde, southern Deventers was thrown into chaos. The Imperium had defeated against the invasions in the past, but now they stood without the protection of their gods. With their army in tatters and their country devastated by the blight, many felt that the timing of the invasion was yet another of Maker's miracles in Andraste's campaign to spread his divine word. Andraste was more than a simple wife of a warlord. After all, she was the betrothed of the Maker. Enraptured by her melodic sound of her voice as she sang to the heavens for guidance, the Maker himself appeared to Andraste and proposed that she can't come with him, leaving behind the flawed world of humanity. In her wisdom, Andraste pleaded with the Maker to return to his people and create a paradise in the world of men. The Maker agreed, but only if allowed. The world would return away from the worship of the false gods and accept the Maker's divine commandments. Armed with the knowledge of the one true God, Andraste began the exiled march into the weekend Imperium. One of the Maker's commandments, that magic should serve man rather than rule over him, was as honey to the soul of the downtrodden of the Deventer who lived under the thumb of the magisters. Word of the Andraste's exalted march, of her miracles and military successes, spread far and wide. Those in the Imperium who felt the old gods had abandoned them eagerly listened to the words of the Maker. Those throngs of restless citizens that destroyed the temple now did so in the name of the Maker and his prophet Andraste. As Menopher's armies conquered the lands of the southern Deventer, so did Andraste's words conquer hearts. It is said that the Maker smiled on the world at the Battle of Ferelden Fields, in which the forces of Mathras challenged and defeated the greatest army Deventer could muster. The southern reaches of the mighty Imperium now lay at the mercy of barbarians. Faith in the Maker, bolstered by the miracles, threatened to shake the foundations of the Imperium apart. Of course, the human heart is more powerful than the greatest weapon, and when wounded, it is capable of the blackest of deed. The Tales of the Destructions of Thedas by Brother Genitivi, a Chantry scholar. Alright, let's talk to you.
I thought it would end here. That young lady, Hawk, she decimated Flint Company. No survivors. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
Hawk, we were just talking about you.
Carry on. I love to eavesdrop.
Hawk said sarcastically.
You know, I hate it when you do that.
Hawk muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
Tell me about this family.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
Is there any peaceful way to resolve this?
If you treat the Harrimans like those mercenaries, you could start a war. Go carefully, Sebastian.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
If I'm standing beside you, that should make her think twice.
Again, your interest in my plight humbles me. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
Sebastian, after the Deep Road, Sebastian has spent the past 3 years advancing his campaign to retake Starkhaven. He's been traveling extensively between Kirkwall and the Free Marches cities, attempting to recruit sufficient allies to build an army. With Destiny secured the Hawke family a place among Kirkwall's nobility, the two have crossed paths a few times, but an excelled prince like Sebastian has far better access than Destiny to the Viscount and other heads of state. So far, though, few families have agreed to support Sebastian with acute troops, leaving him in a difficult position of trying to retake the city with no army. Let's do this first. Okay.
There are still many refugees that need help.
Closer to your ship.
Huh?
I just don't understand why you're working with Hawke. You don't seem to care about anything we do. What's keeping you here?
Mostly the blooming rose. I'm paid up to the end of the year. I'd hate not to use it.
The brothel?
What? Women can't go to brothels too? You're just not using your imagination. Oh, look. Now you are. You're cute when you're blushing.
Now you are. Oh, Isabel, do you have to wrangle the man so much? I mean, it's fun, and Sebastian's kind of worthless, but... Great. Nothing. Let's head in.
That's strange. The door's wide open. and not a single guard posted. This is not the Lady Harriman I remember.
No. No. Okay. Back up.
There is something very wrong in here.
I agree. Can't get in there. So through here we go.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
Okay. Nothing down here. Do you really? I don't think you need more running.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness.
Yeah, I agree. Flora Harmon's diary. First day of the harvest mirror. Mother finally began her expansion to the estate today. She brought in 24 men from the Imperium who I'm sure were slaves, and they have been excavating the hillside behind the house. The dirt is awful, and the noise. Must they shatter every rock in Kirkwall? It's been quiet since lunch, though, and Mother is behaving very strangely. She's now talking about stopping the expansion, just like that, with no explanation. She never tells me anything. And upgrade.
I visited this house often as a child. They could not have conceived such goings on.
Divine Justinia V. Formerly the revered Mother Dorothea of Olay, Divine Justina V rose to power after the death of Divine Beatrix III in the year 934 of the Dragon Age. Little is known of Dorothea's background before she joined the Chantry as an initiate. Within the Grand Cathedral, rivals suggest that her intents in discussing her past means she's hiding something. Few of her flock, however, can imagine her as anyone other than a gentle mother of obvious faith. When Beatrice III was felled by a massive stroke, she survived just long enough to put forth Dorothea's name as a candidate for her replacement. Grand clerics from throughout Thedas flocked to Olay for the Grand Consensus, a private meeting between the heads of all chantries to select the next divine. Though the ritual demands the decision to be anonymous, servants attending the consensus whispered of the heated debate over Dorothea's suitability, her worldly background, and demonstrated forgiveness for sinners who held against her. Ultimately, however, the will of Beatrix III prevailed, and Dorothea began her reign as a Justinia V. Floria Hammond's diary, 10th day of Harvestmere. Father is behaving so oddly. Today he pinched my buttocks, just reached around the table, and I can't imagine what would make him do such a thing. And to the servant girls as well. Some of the things he says would truly make a sailor blush. I told the maids to lock up the wine, but it hasn't made any difference so far. I'm going to the chantry tonight to pray for him. Okay, we want to go down there later, but we want up the steps first. The Vale family. Before the Vales came to power, Starkhaven was ruled in a quick succession by a number of petty warlords. Some were genuine banners, but others were little more than bandits. Tired of the constant petty raiding and warfare between Starkhaven and neighboring cities, the original Lord Vale organized a peaceful protest against the King Iron Fist, the low-born, self-declared King of Starkhaven. Hundreds of Starkhaven's most prominent citizens fastened for 10 days and nights on the steps of the chantry. Their numbers increased every day. When his soldiers began deserting in droves at the example of the petty Iron Fist surrendered his sword to the Templars and left Starkhaven forever. In gratitude, the people of Starkhaven demanded that Lord Val be king. He refused, however, saying he had no right to the title. He was instead proclaimed Prince of Starkhaven, and his family has ruled there ever since. The remaining devout dedicated at least one son or daughter per generation to become a cleric in the chantry. Locked.
Oh, lower. Lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawk. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
No apologies necessary.
No, the feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
That's a great line. I should use that. Oh, I could get it embroidered on my blouse.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
That's my kind of prude.
Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us.
Oh, Jesus.
You be the naughty apprentice, and I'll be the Templar torturer.
Nice. Flora Harman's diary. 11th day of Harvestmere. What can be happening? First Father, now Brett. I can't talk to either of them anymore. I don't know what they're drinking, but they are lost in their own little worlds. And Mother doesn't care. Should she even be here? All she talks about is Starkhaven and marry me off to that idiot Goran Vale. What madness has come over this place? Okay.
You know what they say about a man with big hands.
Oh, God. I forgot about that line.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
Odd. When we watched you being a drunken ass, you ignored us completely.
You shall not enter.
Come on. There we go.
Demons, temptresses. We must see what greater evil they were protecting. So close to Hightown. I remember no such thing.
I remember all the notes. This is a newly discovered area. When she started expanding. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you. There's nothing here or here. Okay.
Let's finish this!
You will fall! And they say violence doesn't solve anything.
Oh, one moment, guys. I gotta answer a phone call. Alright, let's continue here. Oh yeah, this is the way we want to go. I want to check up here for stuff. Stuff. Nothing in here. All right.
I'll deal with this. Now you fall!
Come on.
Bodies.
stuck in the corner there. Where are you? Where are you?
Back it up!
Okay. The Demon's Gift. Before the Blight, there lived an old man and a woman. One day, a beautiful stranger came to their house seeking shelter. The old man and woman gave her food to eat and a dowry mattress to sleep upon. In return, she offered them a golden mirror that would grant 3 wishes. Looking into the mirror, the old woman frowned at her wrinkles and gray hair. "I wish I were young again," she said. Suddenly, the face of a lovely maiden stared back at her. The man angrily grabbed the mirror and said, "You're so selfish. You could have given youth to us both. I wish you weren't so stupid." At once the woman was brilliant beyond measures and saw that her husband had never loved her. He tolerated her only because her age and ignorance made his own seem less by comparison. Angry now, the old woman grabbed for the mirror. At the same time, both of them said, "I hate you. I wish that you would get exactly what you deserved." With that, they were back together, both ugly and old, but now knowing exactly how much contempt they had for each other. Oh, stuck. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing here. Okay. Onward we go. Rubble. Okay. And save. We'll see if this actually loads here. I have sometimes a hard time with the computer not loading this spot up.
Starkhaven will not submit.
There we go.
I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
What bargain have you made?
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian.
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
Not if it meant selling out my family.
How loyal were your friends to you? Everyone has a price. Everyone wants something.
Do not listen to her.
Oh, such a pious soul, masking so much ambition. Are you so different from my lady? You yearn for the same lands, the same power.
I am the rightful heir. She is a usurper and murderer.
You swore to put aside worldly goods and ambitions, but they couldn't stop you from wanting them.
I will hear no more from you.
Return to the church. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul.
Okay. I believe that was all. Let's start throwing some health in here now.
Let us return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul.
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it. Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
Don't blame your mother. The Desire Demon made this happen.
I doubt many people will be so forgiving. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you when I need you.
Oh, well. Now, let's see here. We have to, I believe, return to... the Chantry, and then this is part of the Chantry too, I believe, yeah. Okay. Oh. I'll go through the maze here. Which way? Yes, okay. This way. And to the right. Out should we go. So let's finish this up here. Oh, we don't want to go quite yet.
About knowing who you are. I'm the captain of the guard. I'm loyal, strong, and I don't look too bad naked.
Exactly. And if I called you a mannish, awkward, ball-crushing do-gooder, you'd say...
Shut up, whore.
That's my girl.
Shut up, whore.
I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the Chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You seem very dedicated to the Chantry. You were put there against your will?
At first. But it was the best thing that could have happened. I was a wild boy, a shame to my family. The Chantry made me a man. It's odd. When I wanted to rule, I would have been terrible at it. Now that I might be decent, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
It's the wisdom not to want power that lets you use it wisely.
You didn't feel what that demon stirred in me. It cannot be right to lead any army to Starkhaven with such doubt in my heart. I owe you more than I can say, Hawke. I will offer my service to you here before I move on.
If you want to help me, do it because we're friends. There's no debt between us.
You have a good soul, Hawke. It was truly the Maker who led you to me.
Boy, he gives out a lot of money. Not that I'm not appreciated, but... or appreciate the amount, but gee whiz.
I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company mercenaries had it.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead.
Ouch.
But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them. To save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawk. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets.
Okay. I mean, I know you like it, and it's yours, but this one upgrades with you. And you can always buy it back. Whoops.
You were very close to losing your printing.
Ah?
Locks Barrick.
Once more, I am falsely accused of whatever it is I am accused of. Falsely.
Someone swapped the text of my recruitment poster with some filth from the Blooming Rose.
Ooh, that does sound pretty good.
Sure. Fill the barracks with whores. But you've also filled the Rose with guards.
It is true what they say. The best comedy comes from tragedy.
Hilarious. What am I at? Okay, 31. It's not bad.
Hurry on.
They will, Evelyn. Don't you worry. Alright, yeah. Nothing. Nothing. Alright, this is where we're gonna stop it. And we'll come back. We'll talk to Fenris. Bye now.